What's going on, metalheads? Thanks for tuning into this week's whatever the fuck it is. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am co-host with Aaron Ossont here
From
from
Ossont
Ossont
Battery.
Battery. Dude, what's up?
Nothing much, man. Just getting ready for the Halloween season. So I figured we just dissect a little Halloween heavy metal horror favorite this year in the 1986 classic Trick or Treat, man.
Hell yeah, dude. So just to go ahead and be like frank here, I completely forgot about doing this. And I actually watched this right before
Nice.
coming in. So I've got some hot takes, but wait a second. Because what would it be without one good turn deserves another? Let me say, okay, come on. Okay, sorry. I had to do something there for a second. But
All
dude,
right.
Trick or Treat, the seminal 86 classic heavy metal hard rock film.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably seen the movie at least 20 times myself. I really got into it probably about 15 years ago. I found like an old DVD copy, I believe. Um, and I'd heard about it, never saw it. Found an old DVD copy, and just fell in love with it. Cheesiness, the '80s, the heavy metal soundtrack, and I've just been a fan ever since. I even have I tried to find it on Blu-ray. I don't know how well you can see this, but let me put up my light here.
Ooh, you actually have the cool,
German Blu-ray,
yeah,
alternate title Ragman.
man. It's the
Ragman,
Ragman, man.
yeah.
Oh my God, what is this?
Oh,
You
Look
guys can do
who's
without me here.
here.
Yeah. Yep.
As
nice. Cheers.
Aaron just showed us Ragman on Blu-ray, the
Dude,
German.
look at Aaron's background there. I need to step my shit up, man.
You do.
Yeah.
Dude, Jason, welcome to the show. We just got started here.
Yeah, man. Here from Storm Ravaged, North Carolina.
The
All
heavy
right.
metal wasteland.
Yeah, it's a real
Um,
wasteland now, yeah.
dude, I know you're doing well because the Night Demon patch is hanging up.
And that's a test
That's
for how
that's the
well there.
test for how well you're doing.
Mhm.
Jason, what are you drinking tonight?
Uh Orange Gatorade Zero.
Ooh,
And
I
yes,
like that. It
I
tastes
know it's terrible for you, but it's not like drinking syrup like the regular Gatorades, so
Yeah.
sure.
yeah.
Sure. I actually like the Gatorade Orange Zero because to
Mhm.
me it tastes like orange jello.
Yeah, it's got a good flavor, but I know it's horrendous for you. I'm aware, but
Yeah, it really
Yeah, but what
is.
is it nowadays?
yeah.
I'm
Like pure
actually
coconut
cutting
water from an
loose with
island.
Aaron tonight. I'm cutting loose with Aaron. I have a nice New Belgian
Oh, nice.
triple,
Yeah,
and
it might have been
Aaron,
brewed here.
it might have been,
Yeah,
and
I
they got
hate
it.
Aaron
They
is
got a
hate
brewery.
drinking.
corn flavored cider.
God damn! I wish I knew how to borrow a fucking beer down. I don't have any with me. I'll just pretend mine's a
Damn,
beer. I'll tell you what.
damn, man.
We'll do this.
So
I'm
we
drinking a
just
nice
got
red
started.
and black Iron Maiden. So there we go.
Is that opened?
Nope, it is not.
It is now.
I'm not drinking. This thing's like 5 years old. I just collect the bottles. I got the Canadian Internight can also, the Canadian
Ooh,
Budweiser.
the Canadian Budweiser.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
Jason, are you familiar with Trick or Treat?
Dude, I just watched it for the first time so I could be in this conversation and talk
All
about it.
right.
So yeah, I actually never watched it before. So yeah,
I
Now,
don't know if anybody can see this, but
yeah,
here it is on the screen, Trick or Treat, the seminal classic from 1986.
yep.
Hell yeah.
I was
Go
probably a
ahead.
little young to watch this when it came out. I was only 6. So
Right,
yeah, I was a
right,
little
right.
young too. I found it on DVD and later on.
to be honest with you, I thought there was a remake of it called Trick or Treat with an R. I figured it's a
That's
remake.
Totally
not a
different movie.
remake.
I had
That
seen
is
that,
not.
but then I saw it. I was like, okay, this is actually Trick or Treat, and the other one's Trick or Treat, and it's like an anthology versus a story. So I was like, okay, cool. So
Yes. Trick or Treat is good as well.
yeah, it wasn't bad. I remember renting it with Jackie when we first got together. Actually,
Nice.
back in the day when you like go to a store and like look at shit to rent and pick it out and take it home and have to return it or pay a late fee.
I'll
Those
be
quaint
honest.
days.
I'll be honest. The first time I actually ever saw Trick or Treat
Mm,
was it was just after the pandemic,
yeah,
and it was in the theater. And it was like some of the theaters we do like Sunday matinee showings
right.
where it would be like a 12 and a 4
Mhm.
showtime. It would be nice if they would have done Trick or Treat
Yeah,
also and had
right.
both of them at the same time. So obviously this is produced by Dino De Laurentiis. Super rad. If you're into the horror, Dino has produced so many great films, that including the Evil Dead films as well.
Conan the
Did he
So
do
Barbarian.
Pumpkinhead as well? I think.
I believe De Laurentiis Productions did. If it wasn't him, it was the daughter.
Okay.
Dude, going Pumpkinhead. I remember renting that, dude, and watching that. That's a cool movie. I need to watch that again. I haven't watched it
Yeah,
since.
that's good, man. I love
Do you
Lance
remember?
Henriksen.
Do you remember the movie Watchers with Corey Haim? Also,
Yep.
Yes.
yeah, that's a good one too.
All right. So let's kind of stay on task here.
Oh
Uh
man,
Rotten Tomatoes, which as you see, I have brightened up right now because they do not have a night feature on their website. Rotten Tomatoes gives this film a 71%, and the popcornometer is 63%. So evidently it's a well beloved film in the scene.
right.
Yeah. I mean, let's get this out of the way right now. It's not a good movie
Oh God,
as
no.
far as like, a good film. It's an entertaining film, and it's great in its cheesiness. And if you love the '80s and heavy metal, it's great. But if you're getting into it to look for a great movie, then it's not going to be your
You
kind of
might as
movie.
well be getting into 70s porn for the story.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it
I
wasn't great when my wife asked from the kitchen, which is in a different room, "The hell are you watching?" That's all she said. I was like, "Just a movie. Don't worry about it."
So
it's definitely not one to write home about if you're writing about the story or the plot. I mean,
Right.
to me, I think it just kind of fizzles out. But we'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
all right.
So obviously it starts off with the kid and listening to heavy metal, and it's talking about all of the story at the beginning where what's his name? Sammy Kerr.
Hmm.
Yes.
Sammy has died in a horrible hotel fire. That the kids listening to the music, and it's kind of going through all of like the paranormal shit of like the 80s, like the Ozzy being sued for suicide solution and the kid committing suicide and all that shit. And they even took shot at like the PMRC where he testified on Capitol Hill,
Right.
Ala Zappa, and D. Snyder and John Denver.
Now, one of the things, especially right after like he learns Sammy died, and if you remember there's a scene where he goes up into the room, right? He starts wrecking his room and tearing up all the posters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that the first time, being like, "Holy shit, man! He's wrecking so many cool fucking vintage posters."
Yeah,
I
that's
just
what
like
I
literally
thought
got almost
too.
mad, like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
these are so
At the
cool!"
time they weren't vintage. That's the problem, though.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they were a
Yeah.
dime a dozen.
Yeah.
And I think I saw him tear down like the Wasp poster or some shit.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, you tear that fucking Blackie Lawless piece of shit down. No, I'm kidding. Uh, but no, and of course, Sammy's the only one he leaves up.
Yes.
And to be fair, I am gonna go ahead and go out on a limb here and say this, but like the dude who plays Sammy, to me, he has this look of Flea about him.
Well, the guy's name is Tony Fields. He's
Yes,
actually a dancer.
yeah,
And you can
and
tell, like
Tony.
later when he does the live performance, there's some very theatrical kind of moves and stuff like that.
Oh,
I
sure,
guess he
it
even danced in
almost
Michael
reminds me of
Jackson
Tim
videos.
Capella.
What's that?
It almost reminds me of like Tim Capella in
Mhm.
fucking The Lost Boys.
Yeah.
With the saxophone player, he kind of has the same fucking feel of like the dance moves and shit. But no, I think his makeup, he really looks a little bit like Flea in the face
Okay. Yeah.
from Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I did look him up, and I saw that he died from like HIV related illness
I think
back
like
in
95 or
95.
something.
Yeah. And of course Mark Price plays Eddie. Uh is he a main character because of Fastway doing the music, you think, with Fast Eddie Clark?
Could have been. I mean, maybe it was an ode to that name or something. I don't know,
Or
but
Eddie and the Cruisers or whatever it
yeah,
was?
yeah, yeah. I like the soundtrack is pretty cool, man. I think the soundtrack's pretty killer. Um,
Yeah, I like
personally,
it.
I think Fastway is really good. It's just like it just wasn't Motorhead, but
Sure.
I think Fastway stands on its own, pretty well.
No, I agree with that. No, you're absolutely right. And it does have an amazing a killer soundtrack. But then he goes into school, they razz his ass, they
Mhm.
bully him, they fucking because he's a metalhead.
Right.
I think we all can say fuck that, right?
Yeah. They even strip him naked, remember, out of the locker room and throw him into the gym.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They throw his tape out there, which looks to be this awesome fucking ass demo tape, with like a colored pencil fucking colored pencil fucking jacket art. It looks like somebody had colored it on at home. They used their Crayolas.
Yeah, it was pretty it was pretty rough. Yeah, definitely, man. But those kind of things are the coolest, you know? I mean, it looked kind of cool, you know, underground at the
Sure.
time,
Oh
you
no, I
know?
remember doing stuff like that back in
Oh,
the
hell
day.
yeah, dude. I mean, I
Uh
sucked at drawing, so all my logos looked like shit, but
hey, I get it. I'm that way too. So yeah, then the woman, the girl that they're in school with, um, her name is Elise Richards, but I swear to God, she looked like Lori Loughlin the first time I saw her.
that's exactly who I thought it was too. Yeah. I
And
even went and looked it up. I was like,
yeah, I
is
did
that
as
Aunt Becky?
well. I was like, dude, that's fucking yeah, that's fucking Lori Loughlin. And whether it is or not, I mean, it could be a thing because I've never seen this chick in anything else. And it made so much sense that, she was trashing on Eddie for liking metal in that one scene and then is dating Uncle Jesse.
Yeah. Uncle Jesse, drummer for the Beach Boys. Yeah.
Yes,
Jesse and the
yes.
Rippers, man.
Yeah. Um, which also had two names in the show, Jesse Cochran and Jesse Katsopoulos.
Yes.
I don't know. I wasn't a Full House fan.
What?
Yeah, I fucking hate that show, dude. That and
He likes Step by Step.
no, it was that and what was the one with Family Ties? I didn't like that one either.
Oh,
Um,
that's
Family Ties?
because that's
Oh,
because Michael J.
Skippy.
Fox was a Reaganite.
no, that was that's Family Ties. What the fuck is the one with DiCaprio started out in? The one with
Growing Pains.
yes, that's the one. Sorry.
Growing Pains, yeah.
Yeah.
With Alan Thicke
Yeah. That's what I was
and
thinking.
Kirk Cameron, the other Cameron,
Yeah.
Yeah. Kirk
Yeah, I
Cameron.
didn't
I'll
like that
get
one
started
either.
with him.
Probably because they were back to back.
right?
Yeah, so I was like, I didn't like the family night shit really.
Speaking of 80s shows, what are you a fan of, like 80s shows wise?
Yeah,
No cartoons.
I like the action stuff. I like Airwolf, Knight Rider, stuff like
18.
that. Yeah,
18,
18. Yeah, I was more of a fan of those, more than
MacGyver.
sitcoms. It's all right.
You
Not a
watch
big Richard
MacGyver
Dean
for the
Anderson
stories
fan.
too,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. You remember the joke was I can make anything out of a toothpick and a piece of gum. Make a
Yeah.
C4
Absolutely.
explosives and shit like that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, Aaron, continue. Talk about this movie, this
Well, and
seminal
then
classic.
see after what's called? Sammy Kerr dies. Eddie, he's distraught. It's his favorite musician. So he goes down to the local radio station where he's friends with the local DJ named Nuke, who is
Nuke.
played in actually a really great cameo by Gene Simmons. I
Are
think
you
Gene Simmons
sure?
does a great job in this.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's Gene Simmons?
That's
Because
Gene
I
Simmons.
swear to God that when the moment he takes off his glasses and cowboy hat and hits the desk, he turns into Billy Crystal. Like they have the same haircut, they sounded the same, they had the same scruffy beard at the time.
Aren't they both like Jewish people from New York too?
Yes, they're both in New
Yes,
That could be
York.
a common. This
Yeah.
could
they're
be a
both New
common
York.
look.
They're
Yeah.
both New York
Yeah,
people,
it could be a
yes.
common look. Yeah. Go up there.
But I'm telling you, man, it was Billy Crystal. His acting really shone through there. Like, I don't think I saw as much good of acting out of Gene Simmons until Family Jewels came out.
Yeah. So yeah, he goes to the he Duke, and then Duke says, he knows Eddie's distraught and says, "Hey, I got a present for you. It's the new album by Sammy Kerr. He wanted to have it released and played on Halloween night on the radio, and
At
he gives
midnight.
Eddie this like demo album and
Mhm.
says, "Hey, take this home, take good care of it."
I think
So
he
then
wanted
Eddie
you
goes
to
home
have
with the
it.
record, and in the meanwhile, he gets invited to a party at this a pool party at school by the girl that actually kind of befriended him at school. Um,
Leslie Graham is
yep,
her
that's
name.
thank you.
Yeah, good memory.
And so they go to this pool party, and the jocks see him, and they start fucking with him. They put like a bunch of shit in his backpack, push him in the pool, and almost try to drown him. But the Leslie Graham girl there, she saves him, and Eddie goes home, and he's pissed off, right? And he's fucking heated, and he's listening to the fucking album, the new album, and he falls asleep. And when he wakes up, it's at the end and it's skipping. And he thinks he hears something, so he decides to play it backwards. Well,
Like
when he
any
plays the
kid in
record,
the 80s would do.
exactly. And when he plays it backwards, he unleashes the spirit of the dead Sammy Kerr.
Right.
And this is what I fucking love that. I fucking love this aspect of the movie.
Yeah, it's
Just
Oh
pretty
the
cool.
yeah.
fact that it's so 80s that you would
Mhm.
unleash the spirit of your favorite dead rock star by playing the album backwards.
Dude, that is that up until then it's really cool. It almost has like a there's almost kind of like a nice trauma quality to it.
Yep.
Like Toxie,
Mm-hmm.
especially like with the pool scene where they do the same thing to Mervin in that. They fuck around with him. Um but yeah, like totally. It's good up until I don't know, up until until close to that, I guess.
Well, and the thing is, what I like about too is like when he first kind of unleashes Sammy, it kind of ramps up slowly. Sammy just doesn't
Sure.
jump right out. He starts kind of telling him to do these little things, like in school. He tells him, "Hey, go, gives him these little hints." So Eddie decides he's gonna fuck with the bullies, and he takes him on this big chase throughout the whole school, and the
Sure.
bullies end up getting in trouble, and Eddie ends up getting scot free. So he starts building this kind of let's say confidence because of Sammy. It's kind of cool.
Right. He does we're gonna nail them all, right? We're gonna nail them
Yeah,
all.
exactly. Nail
That's
them
what
all.
they
Yep.
nail them all. I am gonna sit there and say that I did think that the Leslie girl in the film, at first look, how I thought that one woman was Lori Laughlin. I seriously thought, and I can't remember the actress's name, and I did not take the time to look it up. But the actress who plays Frasier's wife,
BB Newirth.
yes, she kind of has this similar look to her as well. So I
Yep.
kind of thought it was like a young wife of Frasier.
Can I go back real quick to the Gene Simmons part?
Sure,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So when Gene Simmons gives him the record and he asks like
Nuke.
why is this sorry Nuke gives him the record and Eddie asks why it's so heavy. I was fully waiting for it to be like, well, that's 180 gram gatefold vinyl I'm handing you here, son. Don't you know that? It's like, but it was like never. It was never told why. It's just like You
He
know,
said he did tell him why. He said because he's in there.
oh, okay. I might have missed that, but yeah, I was really getting I'm waiting to get technical with the specs there. I think it would have been pretty funny.
That would have been it's 180-gram gatefold vinyl.
Yeah,
I mean, it's acetate. It's
yeah.
it's it's just a lathe cut vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So so then
then with
he
go
gets
ahead.
the bright idea to start talking to the vinyl,
Yes.
I
and
mean, we've all talked
asking
about vinyl once or twice, haven't we? Here.
mostly it's like, why the fuck are you skipping?
Yeah, exactly. But you're still talking to it.
Well, and
That's
then
true.
one thing I always got confused with the movie is kind of like the rules on like can Sammy jump to any electronic device or does it have remember
Mhm.
because at one point where he's shutting off all the radios and then he ends up killing the one Lori Laughlin looking chick from going into the headphones or he
Well,
hurts her.
she
I don't know if
didn't
he
kill
kills her.
her. He
Yeah,
He
didn't
didn't
just
kill her.
kill
That's
took
her.
to the
Well, see, but
hospital.
the tape was in but the cassette was in there, the platinum cassette.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
She was listening to the platinum cassette, and I will say that scene is great
Yes.
because it's almost like it's like you expect this giant reveal of like this terrifying looking monster,
Mhm.
and it's like fucking it's like Screw Loose from Ninja Turtles. It's like a giant fucking like fly.
Supposedly, that monster was supposed to have a much bigger role in the movie. I guess there's supposed to be a lot more scenes. But then when like they didn't have enough time to do a really good monster, and then they're finished with it, it looked like kind of like shit. So they were like, "Well, fuck it, we're just gonna shoot it real quick and use it in one scene, I guess."
I could
Yeah, as
totally
most as
see
most
that.
'80s monsters end up looking like shit. It was
Yeah,
definitely a sign of the times. But
except
I
for
will
Pumpkin.
say there's some modern shit that looks like shit too. So it's not just exclusive to the '80s.
I think like with the '80s though, like you always like have in mind like yeah, they were limited by budget and
Mhm.
technical stuff. I think too much nowadays is everyone just goes for the CGI, and I've always been more of a fan of practical effects myself, but
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
because I don't know if anyone else being horror fans you can relate, but especially back in the '80s, it wasn't necessarily about who was in the movie; it was about who did the special effects. Oh, did Rod Bottin make this, or was it Tom Savini, or
It was
you
Charles
know
Martin Smith,
okay, yeah, but that's who you. But that's what I'm saying.
who
You get
also
excited.
directed such other nominal classics as Air Bud.
Oh, I'm more of a
And
fan of Airbud 2, Golden Receiver.
Yeah, about to say, isn't that the
uh
one about the dog?
it is.
Okay,
He
make sure.
also
Okay,
directed the movie Icon.
I really know
He
that one.
directed The Snow Walker.
Sounds cool.
Stone of Destiny,
Sounds cool. No,
Dolphin Tale 2, A Dog's Way Home. Didn't that one win like an Academy Award or some shit?
I have
I
no
think so.
idea.
I don't
A
know.
Dog's Way Home.
He kind of went to
80
What was that
million
about?
dollars. It grossed $80 million.
What did?
A Dog's Way Home.
Oh, I thought you meant Trick or Treat. I was like,
I was
no
like,
fucking
damn,
way.
really?
No, Trick or Treat didn't gross that. No. Um,
Not even close.
no, definitely not.
Did you guys watch on DVD or did you have to find a streaming service that had it?
Uh Aaron has it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay,
I didn't even need to really watch it because I've seen it like 20 times. But
yeah. I had to
I got a
watch it on
Blu-ray.
I can't remember what it was called now. It was just some horror dedicated like horror channel. I signed up for the free trial, then canceled it.
I watched it on YouTube.
I looked for it on YouTube, but I couldn't find it. All I could find was like it was like split up in like 10 sections. I was like, I'm not doing this shit.
No, it's Scream something like Scream Tube or some shit.
Streambox. That's right. That's the app
Screambox.
I used to watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
You can do that through YouTube.
Okay.
Well, should we
Um,
should we mention the other big cameo in the movie as well?
yeah, of course, because everybody seems to think this is a movie starring Nuke and the Preacher. Uh,
Yeah,
But and so much in fact that they actually have their own version of the cover with them on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was like a DVD release in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah, and it's Gene Simmons from like and of course the man we're talking about, Ozzy Osbourne. And it's them from that era, like the early 2000s era. So Gene's like clean shaven, facelift, and
Right.
Ozzy's like from the Osbournes
Gotcha.
era. And that's the DVD release of it. But no, the preacher, which or the reverend or whatever they call him in the film. Uh
The Reverend Aaron something. I remember his name being Aaron. I forgot what it was.
yeah, what is his film name? Gilson or Gillis?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the another cameo that we didn't mention earlier was Large Marge
Ah.
is in the film.
Oh, is she?
And
I never even really.
yes,
I never even noticed that.
Large Marge is, that's the lady he peels out of the screen and kills her.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. Okay. I remember now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in it twice actually. She cameos twice. She's at the beginning. She's the grandmother that's like making like the protest like they used to do at the Kiss concerts.
Mm,
Yeah.
Um and then he peels her out of the screen after he smacks Ozzy in the face while he's on the news program.
right. I got a kick out of the mom. Um, the one scene in particular where she's trying to shut everything off and she just avoids the big square power button
Oh yeah, she's
altogether.
hitting
Yeah, it's like, dude,
everything.
you're fucking with the guy's levels on his fucking equalizer. What the fuck are you doing? What kind of mom are you? I mean, come on.
Then
Just hit the fucking square button. It's
and when she's going through the records and it's like she
Mhm.
gets through them, and it's like, oh, that's cool. That's a cool record. That's cool. Oh, it's fucking killing is my business. Fuck. Uh, I saw the original release of Killing in there, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, it's Killing. And he definitely totally. I can see or art imitating art again. It's like a cover song. He is definitely the Eddie Haskell character from Stranger Things.
Right.
Well, and
Uh
what was so
definitely
funny about the casting with like Mark Price is like he played the dorky dude on fucking Family Ties, Skippy. Remember?
that's true,
But
yeah.
yeah, so it was like not having him be a metalhead. It was kind of like almost like what the fuck, really? Skippy?
Hey man,
Overall,
everyone's got to make a living.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh no, overall, I dig it. So then Skippy decides he's found out how to after the girl gets put in a coma. She didn't die. He said she was in the hospital with a bunch of burns or some shit. Like the earphones are melted onto her head.
Right.
Yep.
And the weird Tim or whatever his name is, um, after he almost gets the lathe in the eye
Hmm.
in the shop class, we end up coming to the scene where Skippy finds out, oh, I'm just gonna start breaking everything. And he trashes the
All the
stereo.
radios.
And he because Sammy is talking to him and he's like, no, Sammy, you weren't supposed to do that. This is not what we agreed to. And yeah, and he gets electrocuted. Crazy shit happens to him. He gets grounded for Halloween. And yeah,
Well, we're forgetting another character here, and Roger, the guy who who backs up his metal taste or Eddie's metal taste. Like,
yeah, he's
yeah,
the
don't
friend
let's not
that
forget him. Is
Roger the friend.
Yeah, let's not
Yeah.
forget him and how important he was in all this to make sure he sat
yeah,
with them at the lunch table and shit, even though they're only two.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
to listen
And
to metal.
but he actually tell when Eddie tells him about the backwards masking on the new album, and how he's like, dude, I think he's talking to me.
Yeah.
Like it said Ragman. He's like, oh, like it says this and this on that, and he talked about all the other backwards masking effects that just that artist had done.
Right.
So he was pointing out that, dude, it's all bullshit. It's bullshit gimmick at this point.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
think
just your typical backwards masking.
do you think there was a lot of product placement in that movie, like paid by companies? Because Sony was pretty prominent on the tape deck. I noticed when they
Yeah,
were when mom was trying to shut shit off, it was like pretty right in the frame there. I was just wondering if like some of like the audio companies were like trying to get some advertising in on that.
Or
I
even like
think.
record labels.
Mhm.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because
Uh,
Anthrax was on there.
well, Gene Simmons
Priest.
was an
Yeah.
actual producer on the film.
Oh, was he?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I wondered if like some of the labels had the band posters in there too, to make sure it's like, you know, make sure you get it wasn't Ram It Down, it was Defenders of the Faith in there. And then the Anthrax album, whatever that was in 86, 85. And
They're spreading the
I'm
disease.
surprised like Master of Puppets wasn't in there, really. Seems like Elektra
No,
would have
because
taken money from
Metallica
that.
didn't do that yet.
Well, they were under label control back then, so
Yeah, they were under Elektra,
yeah,
and Elektra didn't license shit.
didn't they?
No, no, because Queen was under Elektra too.
Oh, okay.
I think the
They didn't
first,
license anything, and like I think the first Elektra license was Bohemian Rhapsody.
I think the first time Metallica licensed their music to a movie was the Paradise Lost documentary about the West Memphis Three. So, and I mean
Yeah,
that wasn't exactly a theatrical movie, you know?
I mean they did license it to Disney for Jungle Cruise.
Did they?
Yeah, it's right. It's nothing else matters. It's right at the very beginning of the film.
I've never seen that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I had no reason to.
I mean it's got The Rock, man.
It's okay.
All right, so let's see. Produced by Michael S. Murphy and Joel Soyson. Story
Poison.
by Rhett
Solely.
Topham. Soyson. Soyson. Soisson. Soyson. Starring Mark Price, Tony Fields, Gene Simmons, and Ozzy Osbourne.
Right. Ozzy
This
and Gene get the higher billing, even though they're in it for like a total of
Starring.
like 3 minutes.
budget was $3.5 million. It has made, as of today in the box office, 6.8 million. So
You go, 100% return on your investment.
yep. So it
Yeah.
is definitely not a flop.
I spent some
It
money
de-
and stuff on the car chase scene, I thought. When he
yeah,
gets
they
in,
probably
yeah,
did spend some decent money on
I
that.
thought it was a pretty
And
decent
it's Reverend
sequence.
Aaron Gilstrom
Gotcha.
is who he is. And Charles Martin Smith plays Mr. Wembley. He is the guy with he gets zapped by
Yeah.
Sammy. He's got the
Oh, okay,
nose
that's
on him.
right.
Yeah, that's the director of the film.
What was your out of 10? What was your rating on his performance in the school dance on the Halloween party?
Oh,
Whose?
Tony Fields, the
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to go with probably honestly, probably an 8 out of 10.
Oh yeah, that good, huh?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, dude, he worked on Thriller.
I mean, I thought it was funny like the other band that was there that didn't know any of the songs, just like all of a sudden
See, I thought
just
that I
knew
thought he
everything.
possessed them.
He did, yeah, but it was funny because like the guy was like playing a solo and looked at one of the other guys like, I don't know how I'm doing this. And, that cracked me up. So
that's what I
What
thought.
I
He had
think is
possessed
the
them. Yeah.
greatest the greatest scene in that is when Sammy goes absolutely batshit nuts on the stage
uh
and turns around and zaps the drummer
right,
and makes the drummer explode, and then the music just stops.
right.
That's what I enjoyed.
Yeah. That whole sequence was pretty funny to me. I got a kick out of it.
Aaron's all looking all spooky over here. You can
Well, it's
barely
Halloween
see him.
themed, so
Yeah, there he goes. You can
don't
kind of
talk
That
too much
see
seems
his
shit.
like
little.
He might come through and zap us. Like we didn't make a remake of it where he like moves around through Zoom calls from podcasters who fucking criticize
Well, that
metal
scene,
bands.
the dance scene there, where Sammy's performed zapping everyone, it almost reminded me of like a heavy metal, scary version of Carrie,
Right.
because how Carrie
Sure.
has everyone trapped in the gym, and there's a little
And then
reminiscent of
he
that
and
for
then he
me.
pops up over the basketball goal right above their
Yeah.
heads. Yeah, that's good. I wonder, I'm one of these people that always likes to try and put like crazy music over other scenes, but I never do it. I wonder if you put the Munsters theme over it. I bet it would play so well over that scene.
That's
Little
an
Benny
underrated.
Hill.
That's an underrated theme song, man.
Oh, the Munsters theme? Yeah, it's
Oh
hash
yeah.
pipe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way
Honestly,
better. It's way better than Adam's Family for sure.
I'm more of a Munsters guy than an Adams Family guy myself.
I appreciate Adam's
Show
Family,
wise, yes.
but I appreciate Adam's Family, but yeah, Monsters all the way for me. But I can't ever get into these remakes or whatever. I can only stick to the original show. I can't
Oh,
do
that
it.
Rob Zombie one was rough.
I never watched it. I refused. I was like, dude,
Well,
why is
that's
that
what
you
I'm
just make shit
saying.
that's already made?
I
I got
can
about
only
15
watch
minutes
the
in.
original show. And when it comes to the original show of Monsters versus Addams Family, it's always Monsters.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to the movies, it's definitely the '90s movies for me
Yeah,
Yeah,
those were both good.
of Addams Family with Raul Julia and Angelica
Yeah.
Houston and
those were great.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Those were great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally great stuff. So on a whole, what do y'all rate the movie?
I would probably give it like are we going through like just like from metal fandom or just like modern standard?
I would say from both. Go
Okay,
metal fandom.
from metal fandom, I'd probably give it 8. It's just it captures the 80s perfect because obviously it was in the middle of the 80s.
Okay,
So it's like a window in time. I mean, even when it's like using a telephone on the wall and shit, it's like yeah, and this is pretty reminiscent. And then but like as a movie, yeah, with there, it's like it's not great. So, but yeah, it's a fun watch. I enjoy a good metal movie if it's good. Some
sure.
are some are okay, some aren't. And they're
Aaron,
also getting less and less made for sure. So
For me, as a metalhead, I'd give it a strong 9.5 out of 10. I
yeah.
mean, it's got
sure.
everything. It's Halloween, it's horror, it's heavy metal, it's campy, it's cheesy, it's 80s. But as an actual movie, maybe like a 5 out of 10. I mean, there's at one point where you can see a boom mic in one of the shots.
Yes,
So there's some rough stuff, but you know, that doesn't bother me so much. But yeah, it's not a great movie, but as a regular movie, 5 out of 10. As a metalhead, 9.5 out of 10.
sure. I'd meet y'all both in the middle on that. I'd say about a 9. Um, on the metalhead thing. Like I said, it was probably the Megadeth that did it in for me. Um, the such strong product placement of Dave Mustaine and anything.
Yeah.
Watch the shocker. Soundtrack is done by Megadeth. Uh,
What was
did
your
you?
opinion of Dave Mustaine's cameo on the Drew Carey show?
Oh, where he's not a good enough guitar player, or he's too good
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So I don't
I don't
know,
think I ever saw
man.
that.
Yeah, it's good. Uh, I'll go for that because he gets kicked out of another band.
Yes.
On a, as a movie, I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm gonna go with about a 3, because it's like the story is half written. It has the potential to be a good horror movie and a good story, and then it
Yeah.
just kind of peters out in the middle of it because of the monster, I think.
Hmm.
And then after the monster, it's like, okay, well, now we know what kind of shit we're showing people. So,
Right.
yay. Yeah. So there's that.
Well, like I said,
Uh,
I liked it because it was just vinyl and tapes, like
yeah.
analog equipment. It just had this like nostalgia feeling. It's like putting on like a blanket out of the dryer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was nice
You're
and warm
warm,
and
warm.
fuzzy.
But then after like it cools off, you're like, hey, this place kind of sucks. It's not very comfy. It's scratchy, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
So let's segue here to another thing.
All right.
Okay.
Overall, Flamekeeper says yes. Watch Trick or Treat
At least once,
at least one time. You
or like
know,
Aaron, at least 20. Either one, somewhere in
yeah.
between
I
1
mean,
and
you
20.
might find it to be your Phantasm, which is my favorite horror film series.
Right.
All
It
right.
might be, yeah. So it's spooky season. What do you all like to do? What's your go-to film every October that you want to always watch?
Hmm. Oh, wow, that's tough.
I got a few I always watch. I would probably say Nightmare Before Christmas.
Sure.
Yeah,
Now,
Um,
did you watch
what,
it? Did you get into it first run or did you get into it in the second run?
first run.
Okay, so
Big,
93.
big clamshell dizzy tape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same. Not the released version in like 2005.
Yeah, I would love to know if like Easter Town or Thanksgiving Town was ever like had anything filmed for it. I was always curious. I'd love to know what they looked like when
Oh
it,
yeah.
yeah. I was always curious if they ever
You
did
think
something, they just never
Thanksgiving
released
Town
it.
is a bunch of like pilgrims with buckle shoes and Indians?
I don't know, it could be like a bunch of like vicious turkeys or something. I don't know. It could,
yeah,
yeah, it could be pretty cool. But yeah, and then Easter Town
anthropomorphic turkeys.
also. So yeah, I was curious about those two. I always hope they would make a sequel, but I think too much time has passed now for a sequel to be
Oh
authentic.
no, 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 no. They could do a sequel today, and those kids that grew
He
up
just
with
did
it.
Beetlejuice.
That's true.
I heard it was good. I mean, it's on
I
So did
haven't
I.
watched it yet.
it's on digital now, but it's still like that full price rental.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'll wait for
What
it to
about
like, be on HBO pretty soon, hopefully.
what about you, Aaron?
Ah, geez. If I have to pick one movie that I usually watch,
Or no,
I
I
usually
mean, yeah, or I mean, I have a couple that I go to every October.
usually the first Halloween, of course. And
Nice.
also Halloween 3. I'm a big fan of Halloween 3 Season of
Season
the
of the
Witch.
Witch, yeah,
Yeah,
Big fan of
it's
that.
kind of like its own film.
yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of people like that one actually a lot.
Yeah,
In the
it's a
last like
cult
20
classic
years it's gained a
version.
lot more popularity.
Mm-hmm. It has. For me, I always go to The Crow,
Yeah.
and I always go
Can we
to,
specify the Brandon Lee Crow, the only crow that matters?
well, yeah. I mean, look at me. I'm fucking old and gray.
Because they
Uh,
made yeah, another remake of it.
nah,
Blamed
I
it
mean,
on, so
I don't count that.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, no, the Brandon Lee Crow, the original. And honestly, I always go back and watch the original Frankenstein
Okay,
Nice.
yeah, it's cool.
with
That's awesome.
Boris Karloff.
Yeah,
And I always watch The Bride with it. Because you're killing 2 hours watching both of them.
yeah.
And there's just something that's shot beautifully about them. I turn out all the lights and just watch some old black and white horror films.
Dude,
This year,
I think the 30s is actually an amazing decade for movies, dude.
oh,
Because
it is.
they were like doing some
Yeah.
pretty wild shit with what they had, and it
Oh
looks
yeah,
pretty good still. A lot of it.
Some of those,
yeah.
especially those early films, like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, just the way they shot the shadows and totally fucking creepy, you know?
Hmm.
Or the
Well, the
first
original
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely it's such an interesting time period. Um, there was a film, well, there here at Art Sanctuary in Louisville, they do a thing called evening tea. And what they do is they take a silent film, um, and they play it with a band playing,
Oh, nice.
like an instrumental band. So like real ambient type stuff, and it's done live to the film. So it's like what you hear is what you get, and that's it. It's it's all avant-garde, it's all live.
That's
It's
cool.
yeah, and I've seriously thought about messing around and getting out my mixer station and thought about actually doing trying to learn it well enough to do it.
Right. That's kind of like Bit Brigade when they go around playing like the soundtrack to games while people play it and shit.
Oh no, they're not playing the soundtrack to the movie. They're playing their
Yeah,
soundtrack.
I know what you
Yeah.
mean, but it's like they're putting music to an image that's
Well, wasn't that
silent.
originally how they did it with silent films? Is like they'd have a band, right, an orchestra,
They'd
like
have an
playing
orchestra playing there, yeah.
in time to the movie.
Yep. Because that they didn't find out how to record sound and sound after the fact for a while until I think the 40s
Right.
is when they
And then it
started
was even,
doing.
and then like it would probably be hard to sync it up back then. If you've ever watched something where the audio is not synced up with the video, it totally fucks you up, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've done some of these episodes where it's like that. Um, favorite Halloween candy?
Ooh,
I mean, I'm just gonna go with Reese's peanut butter cups because
Yeah.
I get a lot of them at Halloween and all year round, and they never really disappoint. I mean, it could be anything. It could be Christmas tree, pumpkin, what the fuck ever, Easter egg. They're all as long as
yeah.
it's like as
Dude, and
long
I
as
even
it's
like
the
their
real deal
white.
Reese's, it's good to
I
go.
even like their white chocolate versions too.
Man, I don't veer off much. Like I bought a every once in a while I'll try like a different flavor, like a Kit Kat or something like that. And it's just never beat the original, man. So I just always go for
I don't know. Some
I
of them
don't
fucking those coffee Kit Kats
Kit
are
Kat.
pretty goddamn good.
well,
Yeah, I was about
I
to
don't
say
like
that the
coffee, so
cappuccino
there's
one.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Those
hate
are
coffee, so
slamming.
I'll never try it.
You don't drink coffee?
Nope.
Ooh,
What the
No.
well,
hell?
I drink enough
I'm
for the
about to
both of
go in and make some now.
No, I can't stand fucking coffee. I can't stand coffee. I can't stand the culture around coffee. I can't stand that Starbucks built a fucking big store in the middle of a parking lot. That's pisses me off every time I can't park somewhere because this goddamn store took up like fucking 30 fucking spaces. Yeah, I just can't do it, man. I just can't get into it.
So
When Jack asks me to
as
get her a coffee, I actually get fucking physically violent sometimes.
well as I'm saying, lads, here on November the 5th, you can vote for Jason Gardner and the Mama Movement, Make America
That's
Metal
right.
again.
We're getting rid of coffee day two.
No,
I
we're
don't
I'll
know if
not.
you'll
be.
have a very popular
I won't
platform with
be
that,
there.
dude.
Mark will be there. I'll be gone. I'm done after about 4 hours. Um. So yeah, I'm gonna book a bunch of tours of some foreign bands, take out the fees, the visa fees, stuff like that, and then I'm gonna make sure they play Asheville, so I don't have to travel too far. And then it's Mark's baby. After that, I'm fucking
Well,
out.
I mean, at this point, you got to make sure you got to sign over FEMA to fucking Asheville because apparently
Yeah.
fucking.
I just talked to FEMA today, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had to sign up and get my.
Are you allowed to work through FEMA?
No, I had to go and find out they so the $750 that they came everyone made a big deal about was like a just like a handout, no strings attached. We had to go sign up for it, and when I signed up for it, I did something wrong apparently. So I went down there to talk to them to find out what I did wrong, and they set me straight. So
Well, that's good.
so I'll be getting some stuff sent to me hopefully. Don't believe the news. They're around. They have one central station, and they drive out to different areas because there's
Sure.
so many little small areas. They can't have like the full force of the government of like hundreds of people in like a town of like 1,500. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah, that's what it is. Like they're not there handing out like like they have some stations like here and there, but they're just mostly like there to help like fill out paperwork and shit because they don't really do anything except for that. They're just like there to like here's a link, here's what you need to do to sign up. And all this shit like they're confiscating supplies and stuff. I don't know where the hell that even started from. That shit cracked me up. Um, but maybe they are because the FEMA station I went to today had like fucking 200 containers of fucking baby formula. Maybe they are. Maybe they're breaking in houses and stealing. I don't know. It's like
Maybe.
maybe, but yeah, yeah. These
They're
fucking rumors are
probably eating the cats and dogs down
these
too.
rumors are fucking killing me. I read shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I made a response today. Someone said, I heard the water's supposed to be out for over a year. Is this true? I was like, well, my great grandkids came back and see me today from the year 22 for 38, and they said the water just came back on yesterday. So you take it as you want. And then for some reason, the whole fucking post got erased. It pissed me off because I wanted to see the responses.
Maybe
Uh,
you just got blocked.
no, the whole post was erased because Jackie's on the group too, and it was gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, that was a good one though. I was cracking up while I was fucking writing it, man. That was awesome. But yeah, the rumors are absolutely like killing me, man. It's like it's just like what do people come up with this shit from, you know?
People are messed up, dude.
Dude, it's just like here's pure chaos. Let's just like see some more pure chaos in here. You
For
know, it's
sure.
it's wild, dude. It's like why wouldn't everybody just want to know the truth? Like, yes, this road is blocked. No, it wasn't fucking bombed by a goddamn aircraft up in the sky to make it harder for you individually to get around where you need to go. Like this goddamn body of water fucking washed it away. And now you can't drive over it because there's nothing there to drive on. That is why the road is closed. And it's like people are just like, yeah, the government bombed the bridges out so nobody can get in and they can take everything from us. It's like, you dumbasses, there's like fucking two ways in from the south and the east. Why didn't they block all those too and leave us stranded? It's like, dude, they're all near water. That's what happens, you know?
Jeez, man.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
are
dude,
fucked.
it's wild, man. It's fucking wild, dude. Like you tell someone and they're like, "Oh no, it's full of shit." I know someone lives there, and they told me it's like, dude, I'm right in the middle of the shit. I'm in like the epicenter, and I'm telling you, there's so much fucking food and water and everything. It's unreal. Like I'm actually into now, like going to get free food and like rating how good the food is because there's just so much of it. Like it's like let's see what World Kitchen's got tomorrow. Let's see what I rate them. It's like being what's you call it it's like being Yelp for
For charity.
for rescue food. It's like, yeah, burger's a little
Wow.
dry. They left a wrapper on the cheese. 6 out of 10.
I'm gonna send this back.
Jesus, Jesus,
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm gonna throw this shit to the dog. 8 out of 10. Yeah.
What is this shit?
Man, no, no thanks.
No, I mean some of it's good, some of it's like Like I didn't take up the Red Cross Day on their offer because it was yet another fucking burger. I was like, oh, it's a fucking burgered out, man. I was like,
Right.
nah, it's like let someone else have it that needs. I'm good, thank you. Um, they're like, you sure? I'm like, I'm positive. I'm fucking done with burgers and fries.
Hell yeah.
But I
So,
did because I found
guys,
some chicken
before
and
we get
rice and some
going,
steaks, so that was pretty good.
Jason, hold
Yeah.
that thought
Okay.
because before we go today, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to both of you all for being on the Flamekeeper Halloween special of Trick or Treat. This has been fun.
Yeah.
Nice surprise to have Jason on here and to
Yeah,
have all three
definitely.
Flamekeeper members
Well,
back.
yeah. I mean, remember if you do it like around 9 or so, I'm usually pretty available. It's just like before the bed stuff is hard. But this is actually like a flame ale Mudhorn episode. Bring back the Mudhorn one time a year to
Yeah.
talk a little
Yeah.
bit of horror movies.
Yeah, it's the Flamekeeper Halloween special this year
Yeah.
because last year we had one where I debuted Necronomicon Country's trailer.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
And
yeah, we didn't finish
but
that.
no,
We
we
need
need to
some,
finish that. Yeah,
we need some
for
B-roll.
sure.
Right now is the time to do it. I got some good destruction
Hell
scene
yeah.
goes around too. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I do need some good B-roll.
Yeah.
And we need to bring Aaron down for it, get Aaron to film some stuff. But
yeah.
no, shout out to you guys, metalforgeradio.com, all that flamekeeper.vap. We still kind of do the Patreon thing.
It's there if
Minus
you're interested.
it's there if you're interested. Fuck yeah. I mean, just do the thing and all the stuff. Flamekeeper PN, Metal Forge Radio, Ossont Battery, the Alehorn when it's a thing.
Yeah, I need to get back on it. Now that everything's kind of settling down, I do need to get back on it.
Now it's
I'll text
football
Jason.
season, so he's
Yeah,
going to be out of that for a little bit too.
yeah. Wait. Speaking of football, real quick, Aaron, your division has a little shakeup as of today, on the coaching staff of the Jets. No more.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
Are you happy, or you didn't really care because it didn't really matter?
I don't
Wow,
think it
that's
really
kind of
mattered.
hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
division
Fifth game
seems
of
a
the
little
year.
shaky now. That
Yeah.
well, did you see Josh Allen's awful game? He was what, 9 for 30?
I didn't see it. I heard it was pretty bad though. So yeah,
It
I
was
mean,
bad.
if these teams keep sucking, Dolphins might be in the mix. I mean, for a good, like, fucking 8-10, 8-10 championship win there in the North.
Dude, I
So
was
who
so
knows?
upset because the guy caught the ball and I thought he had a touchdown, but he stepped out of the back of the end zone. I was like, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's always some
All
dumb
right, we're
shit. I remember
dropping
the
into
pan.
Flamekeeper Sports really fast.
Yeah, I remember the. We're gonna keep talking over you. I remember
I'm
DJ
just going to
Moore.
say, everybody, check it out. See you next time.
All right.
Say bye,
Later, dude.
everybody.
Oh, let me